Alright, what's poppin', people? We're back. And instead of going over a format that I got a lot more practice covering, I'm gonna look at Gen 6 NU. Why? Two reasons. One, because I can. Who's gonna stop me? You? You're not gonna stop me. And two, because I've been trying to get into ORAS more anyway lately, and I figure, you know, one of the best ways to do that is, of course, watching replays. And, well, if I gotta try to rationalize stuff to myself as we're going over the replay, then I think that's just still interesting and a good way to learn. I like learning old formats. ORAS NU is, I mean, it's an NU format. And I think since we got a game between two offenses here, Chaitanya's got more of a bulky offense compared to Shiba's just, you know, straight up hyper offense Rain. This is a pretty, like, tame game, considering I'm not going to have to do some deep dive unlike Shiba's sets or anything. Even Chaitanya's sets are generally straightforward beyond trying to analyze between, like, Lantern, Hariyama. Because, you know, Lantern runs Assault Vest a lot, but that's also Hariyama's most common set. So, a little bit of analyzing, I guess, needed to go there. Anyhow, as per usual, man, if you enjoy the content, leave a like and subscribe if you aren't already, so that we can hit our goal of 5,000 by the end of the year. I need your help, so lend me your help. And yeah, let's get into it. So we're gonna see Lipard lead into the Rhydon. You know, generally when you're running weather, one of the best things you can try to do early is set the weather, and I also would assume Shiba's thought process is, you know, Mesprit lead turn 1 could give a little bit too much leverage to, say, like, Skunk or even Miss Magius. Miss Magius' most common set in this gen is a substitute set, so you don't want to try setting rocks and just getting subbed on when your Ghost Resist is a Lipard that's gonna be like U-turn, knock, rain dance, whatever. So does this instead, gets the Rhydon lead, it's gonna U-turn. Chait's gonna make a good read turn 1 with the Mega Horn. This is the only ground check on the team alongside Ludicolo, so Mega Horn's always pretty safe. And we're also going to make sure we see him preserving momentum further by blocking the setting of Stealth Rock from Shiba, so that's really good. And we're going to see Xatu U into the Lantern. Unfortunately for Chait, he's faster, and so this is going to start giving Shiba an opportunity to wall break. And we're going to see him go Skuntank here on the predicted Giga. That ends up paying good dividends for him. And we're going to see what most of the time you're just forced to do when you're matched against these sorts of weather teams, right? Try your best to stall out the turns, get good positioning if possible. So he'll then double back the Lantern, he eats that up with ease. And here we're going to see the Lantern is most definitely Assault Vest. Of course, we already kind of knew that because we saw no lefties, but also just taking less than half from the Giga Drain just tells you it's not like specs or something randomly. Obviously, he does have to sack it. Not the worst thing in the world, because it's not like a rain team with an electric type that you really want Lantern around for. You know, we're not talking any Thunderouses around here or something. Anyhow, the Yam's going to come out. Again, a really good read from Chait there, knowing the Mesprit probably doesn't want to come in because it is kind of low. And you might want to preserve your ground immunity for that Rhydon if you just need to try to pivot around it. And when I was doing some calcs just to try to, you know, determine sets for myself, given that this is AV Lantern, I'm pretty sure this is Banded Yama. Now, something to keep in mind, of course, is that if this is offensive Garbodor, which wouldn't be surprised by given this is just an offensive team, Earthquake does kill if it's just max attack Adamant and Garbodor has no bulk investment. However, you know, given the AV Lantern, I don't know if you're going to want to bother stacking two AV Mons on the same team. Maybe you are, but they have so much overlap in terms of Pokemon that they defensively answer that I don't think that would make too much sense from a building angle, right? Just a lot of redundancy there. And there are a couple turns later on in the battle that kind of further my my hypothesis there. Anyhow, rain ends, and of course Chait's done a pretty decent job minimizing the effect of the weather this game, and here again we do see what I was talking about. Miss Magius is sub, and he's just gonna sub down to 1% here. It's the best play. Try to waste as many rain turns as possible so that Shiba can't get in that Ludicolo again, or Omastar, or Kabutops, and just start beating you down. Kabutops in particular, of course, given the team Chait's got, pretty big threat. Now here, there is no reason to sack the Liepard, and not the Liepard, the Magus. So Xatu comes out, it's Colbur Berry, so it doesn't care about Liepard getting in here. And he can even chip at it with U-turn a bit, so that's cool. And now the Skunk is in, the Skunk is now. Berry free Poison Jab. You get a free KO here. And again, Rain expires. That's really good. And we're going to see that he's Taunt. Now this is a little less common of a set, to my understanding, nowadays. When you see physical Skuntank, a lot of the time they're going to be Choice Banded. With, you know, like Pursuit, Crunch, Sucker Punch, Poison Jab. And if they're not going to be running Pursuit, then there'll be a special set. Or for that physical, there'll be the special set with, like, Fog, Fire Blast, Dark Pulse, and then one of, like, Acid Spray or Hidden Power Grass, pending, you know, are you trying to hit, are you trying to stall break, or just have coverage for Pokemon like Rhydon, Gastrodon, Quagsire. And yeah, Taunt, of course, to prevent the Shell Smash, and a Xatu sack here is just pretty fine. It's not answering anything. It's more just around so that you can maybe, you know, sack it to a Rain turn. Ms. Magus very easily can come in Revenge Kill. Unfortunately, this is going to give Shiba very free turn to Rain up. Anything would always give him a free turn to Rain up, admittedly, but kind of sucks because now this Kabutops is out. And here is going to be why I believe this Yama is not AV. Because if it's AV, as opposed to CB, it's going to have Fake Out at minimum. I've never seen an Assault Vest Yama forego Fake Out. Also, really good read here on Shiba's part to predict the Sucker Punch and instead Jet, because that just guarantees that the Kabutops endgame goes well. If Chaitanya goes for a Crunch instead, assuming he has it, which he probably doesn't. You know, again, this is kind of why Taunt sucks, because you don't have that reliable damage from your Dark-type attack. But I'm saying he did have Crunch instead of Taunt. That kind of 50-50 is, like, really good to make, because it just secures that you get the win instead. But he always, I think, had to Jet anyhow, because the most that's going to do to you is Sucker. But it's going to be this line here, where we see him just double to Dawn. Realistically, the switch doesn't do a whole lot. My guess would be he went Hariyama here, trying to tempt Shiba to switch, and just, again, try to waste more turns. Maybe trying to play it out as like, oh, but, you know, I might be AV with Fake Out here. Comes back to the earlier bit where Lantern pretty clearly is AV. I don't think you stack two of these AV mons on the same team. And then we just never see a Fake Out from this Pokemon. We don't even see a Bullet Punch from it. Instead, he locks into EQ. And I'm saying locks into because I think at this point it is, for certain, Choice Banded Hariyama. And then Omastar could just come in at the end and finish it off. But it's games like this that I think do show how potent those, like, weather-setting builds, even when it's manual rain or sun or what have you, can be if they get the right matchup. Because it's just a matter if you have, you know, in this case, 3 Pokemon trying to take advantage of the weather. You just hope one of them, when you load those sorts of teams, is going to have the dream matchup that you need it to have. And in this case, it was the Kabutops. Especially loading into non-AV Yama. Because Fake Out, this game, would have given Chite a lot of extra room. Just an insane extra amount of breathing room, because it gives you that guaranteed wasting of a weather turn. Even having, like, Bullet Punch. I've seen Yamas go double priority before. That might just be a Kyo thing. Shoutouts to the homie. But they are indeed a thing that exists. And it would have been great this game, but instead he loaded CB and loaded a bad matchup, which kind of sucks. And yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this. Of course, with NUPL being in playoffs now, got a smaller pool of games to pull from, but I can always look at older weeks still if I think the game was worth it. That's kind of what I've been doing for these, just looking through replays, being like, okay, what teams look kind of cool? And then saying, oh, these teams look kind of cool? Sure, why not? I hope y'all enjoyed the rest of your day, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.